Okay, so welcome to another. Actually, this will be mixed bag varietals part 2. Actually, you just want to face the camera a little bit further down, so we're not. I love having my winemakers above me. That they're really lovely people, but a little bit more towards that. That's better. Rightio. So now that we're sort of centered. So my name's Andrew. I'm kind of the know-it-all. Pat's our novice wine drinker, and Dan is our knowledgeable one, who's been with me for 11 years. And despite his own reticence, he is actually quite good. I mean, I proved it today when I made you try 3 wines, and you guessed, well, 2 or 3 at least, which I'm really happy with. So this is actually good practice for the WSET exam, which Pat will be undergoing at some point this year once he gets his RMLV license too. It'll be really handy. Yours due again.
Just the license side, not the.
Yeah, my I think is it 4 years, 3 years or 5 years for the
4 for the license, the card, 3 for the course.
I've got to do the course again this year soon too. So anyway, that aside, so these are 4 wines. There's no link between any of these wines. This is what's called the mixed bag part of the exam. This is probably one of the hardest ones to do. The only bonuses you get is that each wine style is going to be adjudicated on the fact that it's classic to the style of wine, be it whatever tier. It will be very classic to the style. It will be from a quality region, and it will actually should show the characters of that wine. So these are dead set, so 100% certain to look like the wines as they are. Whereas other ones you can get things like from regions where you might actually have a mid-level or mid-tiered whites, or maybe 2 whites and 1 mid-tiered red, which won't show. But there's always going to be a give me in those. But this one is actually one of the hardest ones to do because you don't know what you're getting, really. One of the ways it was suggested to me to deal with this is to write out your grape varietals from lightest to full-bodied in whites and then doing it in reds. And that will literally, you'll be able to quickly go, does it taste like this? Does it look like this? It's the smell of this? And you should be able to narrow it down pretty quickly to between 2 or 3 varietals, and then you just have to work your way through it. So Pat, I'm going to ask you just quickly, name 6 major white varietals.
Chardonnay, Sauv, Pinot Gris, Grigio.
That's one.
Oh, okay. Riesling, Viano.
Mm-hmm. That pretty much Toronto's, Malvasia. You've
Semillon
got Anais. Sorry, Semillon. Semillon definitely does. Gewürztraminer. What else is there? Verdelho, Viognier, Vermentino, Gorillo.
Don't leave all the V's out.
Well, so automatically, just quick nailing down there, we've got 10 to 12 varietals. You need to put those in a structure that you will remember, and you write them all out. In the reds, give me at least 6, and we can expand from there.
Shiraz, Cab, Merlot,
Yep.
Malbec, Sangiovese, Tempranillo, Alpino,
Sagrantino, Aglianico, Primitivo, Zinfandel. Then you've got some of the other, Tempranillo, Grenache, which is Grenache, Mourvedre, Mataro, Nera d'Avola, Montepulciano, Valpolicella, Barolo, which is Nebbiolo, Barbaresco, which is Nebbiolo, Barbera, Nera d'Avola, which is said before. So yeah, again, you need to have an idea of what those grape varietals are, and again, list them lightest to heaviest. This will mean that when it comes to looking at it, and you see the wines in front of you, you'll smell them, taste them, you'll be able to tell from the body or the flavour intensity in what spectrum it is, and you'll be able to tell the fruit characters that are there. So red cherry and mint is generally going to be Sangiovese, or bright red fruits could be a Shiraz, that kind of thing. And you'll need to know tannin structure as well, but if you put it in level of body, you can kind of immediately work it between 3 to 4 varietals within just literally by looking, smelling, and tasting just quickly, you can nail it down from there. But remember that that's half of the exam is to actually figure out what each of the wines are. The other half of it, and this is a half, well, it's actually 70% of it, is to write down what you've got in the glass in front of you, which is why Pat will be going through the breakdown of how to write in a WSET format. So we have literally the breakdown, especially if you read the CAG, is CIC, CIA, so CIC being the appearance, CIA being the nose, and then the SATA, B, F, 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 and then if they're asking for quality, BLIC and Q. Just to run you through that, CIC, is it clear or hazy? And you can have hazy wines that are still quite good. Then you have the intensity of the aromas, that's the I, and then the the intensity of colour and then the colour. Then we have the nose, which is clean or dirty, which can be a good way to tell some of the Pinots and particular regionality of Pinots. Or if it's a natural wine, which are turning up now in exams. Then you've got the intensity of the aromas, which is the A, CIA. Then you've got the SATA, which is sweetness, acidity, tannin, alcohol, body. And then flavour intensity, flavour and finish. That nails the tasting note, and with that tasting note, if you've written down what's exactly in the glasses, you see it before you, you should get pretty good marks, 70% marks. If you get wrong, then at least you'll see why you're wrong. Okay, so they'll know what that is, and they can kind of forgive you if you get a Sangiovese and you say that it's looking like Merlot. It could be a Sangiovese dominant with some Merlot in there, and you're seeing the Merlot character being overwhelming. Maybe they'll forgive you that, or it might be a Sangiovese Barbera or a Barbera, and you're sort of prevaricating between the two. They might, close enough. It's near enough is good enough. They won't give you full marks, but they'll give you part marks for it. So we're going to start now and look at these wines. So starting off with the white, let's have a dig through. So. You weren't expecting that, were you?
I wasn't expecting that at all. Wow.
Oh, yeah, that's very classic of what the wine is. I can guarantee that. So, Pat, run down your CIC, CIA for me.
I got clear. I got medium plus. So it's quite it's like a bit more than straw, I reckon.
Yep.
And I just got straw as a colour. Didn't think it was much. Leading a bit more to golden maybe, but yeah. Yeah, so I just write straw.
I'd write in the medium plus lemon. I'd say medium plus lemon or high lemon. Or if you can do it light gold, but I don't think it's got enough brown in it to be gold. So, yep. CIA.
I'm trying to figure out what the smell is.
Okay, as soon as I tell you, will actually.
Lychee to me.
Yeah, it's lychee. Yeah.
Fucking well done.
Yeah.
Told you could do this exam.
I'll let Pat do it.
Literally, it is lychee, which is an absolute
And that's
dead
what
set.
hit me when I first put my nose in there. I went, whoa.
As soon as you said lychee,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Lychee, white flowers, orange blossoms, a bit of honeydew, a bit of melon. It's a lovely wine. Like, this is a really, really lovely wine. Best part is it's a really overlooked one too. Righto, so you've got your next one down. So
Intensity.
yeah, write intensity first. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, definitely the high. Like, so I put
Is this the nose?
It is high. Sticking the fact is, we went to here. That's it. That's high. Well, it's actually clear for that.
Yeah.
Clean or so that's clean. Right, yeah. So sweetness wise, so this is the one that's really confusing. This is actually a real struggle for some wines, particularly Riesling is a really hard one to deal with. You might get a wine that you go, that is so dry, but you get so much floral and so much intensity from the fruit character. You're unsure whether it's dry or sweet. You actually think it's off dry, but it could even be sweet. Due to the acidity, though, it's really, really searing and cutting. This one, however, seems to be. Do you reckon it's dry, off dry,
Like,
sweet,
I go off
medium sweet, sweet, or lush? Yeah.
Off dry.
Off dry is that's a good call.
Initial fruit flavour gives you the feeling that it's going to be sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
put
not.
like.
But when you put it over your tongue, though, you do get just a touch of sweetness running into the front part of your palate.
But it's like pure fruit.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, actually,
not
it's just like a
sugar
lychee juice.
It is
Yeah,
literally
fruit,
lychee
fruit.
juice, yeah. Okay. So next up would be acidity.
Well,
Just tell me what the cheeks do. Don't worry about anything else. Just tell me, are your cheeks watering?
not overly.
Really? Okay, mine is. So literally. Yep. My cheeks are watering rather rapidly. Do I think it's high acidity? Probably not. But I do think it is at least a medium to medium plus acidity. You choose what you want to do. Yep, okay. There's no tannin.
Yeah.
Yep. Alcohol wise, what do you reckon?
It's got quite warm to it.
I don't think it's particularly warming myself. I do find it to be just the sheer fruit makes it really difficult to sort of identify warming alcohol.
I'm thinking about maybe 12.
I reckon
Yeah,
12.
I'll go
12 is good.
12 and a half.
Yeah.
So is that would be medium.
Body.
Body. It's got quite a body. So is that just a high plus? Like,
Well,
because it's on like a sliding scale, including reds as well. So like a full body red is.
well, that's built out by tannin and things too. This is actually medium plus body for me because it doesn't have high alcohol, but it certainly has a big textural body to it. Not quite as texturally as Chardonnay.
Yeah.
So it might even drag me down to a medium, but it is really intense with the fruit flavours. So, yep. So flavour intensity.
Well, high.
High. Yep, that's nailed it. And your flavours are essentially pretty much everything you've already done in your aromas. Is there anything else that you find on the nose or in the palate?
Like a little bit of peach or something.
Yeah, I get a bit of peach, but I wouldn't say it's something that's really overt.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with straight lychees, orange blossom,
Definitely
honeydew,
in there.
and some honeydew melon. But literally, all of those I've just said are primary. They're all primary notes. There's no secondary or tertiary notes that I'm picking up.
Yeah, I can't get any vanilla sort of.
I can't get any oak to it. This wine sometimes can see oak, not this one in particular, but this varietal can sometimes see oak. But generally, not really.
Squish it and drink it.
Squish it, drink it. It does actually spend a bit of time on skin sometimes.
I get like a little bit of finish, but
Yeah. So the finish for this though is
the flavour kind of dies off pretty quick. But
I still have that lingering sort of
is that
lychee.
acidity or
No, this is actually primary fruit flavour. It lingers for a while, so I would give it. It's actually quite a medium plus finish, and it starts a little bit complex, but then ends quite simple with its simple finish. But it's a fairly simple sort of lychee flavour that
Because that lychee just dies
it just dies off in the back. So
Um,
Righto. So we're not really looking at quality, but we are going to try and figure out where it is or what it is. So with the word lychee, it literally takes us to there's one varietal that is always lychee. Lychee, lychee, lychee. What do you reckon it is, Pat?
I don't know if I've had it before. Like,
You never have.
Yeah. Because,
But this is actually one of...
New World or Old World?
This is actually a New World expression of a very strong Old World grape, and it is one that can be used as an exam because it is coming from a very cool climate in the New World.
Germany?
Well, that's an Old World.
Oh, New World, like,
So Germany literally has Riesling
yeah,
and Pinot Noir.
yeah.
That's it. So, is it a Riesling?
No.
Well, they immediately took Riesling off the
Yeah.
table. Is it a Chardonnay?
No.
No. Is it a Sauv Blanc?
No.
No. Is it a Pinot Gris or Pinot Grigio?
No.
No. Is it... What other whites are there? Is it an Albarino? No, nowhere near enough acidity for it. And the fruit is not lychee. Anise? No.
Oh well, sorry guys.
Hey.
Is that about the best for around $30?
Oh, no way.
No. Take him to the mp1.
Yeah.
Take him straight to the...
So what's left?
Piano's.
Got Toronto's.
Toronto's.
It's an Alsatian. I'll tell you now. It's an Alsatian grape. So Alsace, which is on the border between France and Germany.
Yeah.
It's an own little country there. It is renowned for its noble grape varietals. One is Pinot Gris. One is Riesling,
Yeah.
though that's actually not technically a noble grape varietal. The third one is what it's known for, Gewürztraminer.
Yeah.
This is a Gewürztraminer.
So this is
This is lychee on lychee. If you get lychee in a wine, that's Gewürz.
So, is that why they mix it usually with Riesling?
No. So
it's interesting that you guessed Germany before.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is. No, Gewürztraminer is its own grape varietal. It can be reproduced as Traminer, and is a sweeter. It brings sweetness into wines. So yeah, Traminer Riesling. It might be a blend of
Yeah.
Gewürztraminer and Riesling. Frontignac is generally used quite a bit in.
Do you want me to go and open up the cask?
You may stop right now.
We can test it out.
God no.
So where was this one actually from?
This is actually from Marlborough in New Zealand.
Okay.
It's actually Greystone's Gewürztraminer.
Nice.
This is actually a really good wine. I really enjoy this wine. It's about $40 a bottle. And unfortunately, if you want to get good Gewürz, you really do have to pay through the nose for it. Taylor's did a nice little Gewürz out of Clare Valley. In their estate range, it was actually quite good. But even they struggled to sell it. They really...
Because of the pricing?
No, just because no one knows what the hell it is.
Okay.
This is actually a real heartbreak for retailers and restaurants. Is this wine? What do you reckon it would go with?
Prawns. Like
Prawns,
seafood.
yes,
stuff.
seafood,
Just beautiful.
Asian, anything
Yep.
spicy. This and a curry is knock 'em out, knock 'em, sock 'em, robots type stuff.
Curry cooking for tomorrow.
Yeah, and that is nailed it.
Does it,
Because the residual sweetness in that marries up to the spices. And actually, if you eat raw chili, you go, oh, that's hot. If you have raw chili and then some sugar, it is like, wow, just everything comes to life in your mouth.
The chili or just the sugar?
Chili. So
You want to try that, Pat?
yeah,
Hey?
You
you
want
can
to
try
try
that.
that?
No, okay.
No, I'm actually trying to remember
Yes,
which
the
of the
sugar.
cheese had the wasabi in it.
It's that dotty one.
The dotted cheese on, yes.
Right.
Be careful.
It'll be bugger all wasabi in it.
Oh yeah, I've heard that before.
But
That's
Gewürz is
solid.
a really overlooked wine, and I think it shouldn't be. I think it should be a loved wine. Great coming out of New Zealand. In fact, the only regions I would probably look at my Gewürz from, apart from Alsace, which are very expensive but really good. You're looking at $40 to $120 a bottle for that. Is New Zealand, but they don't do it. Not many of them do Gewürz down there.
That's made in a smaller.
Very small parcels. I have had a few coming out of cool climate regions in Canberra. Not many. Tassie is one that I think would go beautifully with Gewürz, but they're actually struggling with their Pinot Noir and Sauv Blancs, which are renowned varietals. And everyone goes, oh, I like my Tassie Pinots. You going to buy one? No. Which is a shame because Tassie Pinots can be good, but I find them a little bit simpler than you know. Springvale changed my mind with that, but I do find that Tassie would be a great little cool climate region for that kind of thing. So we'll go on to the reds now. So as you can see from the reds, they pretty much look all the same, don't they? Same sort of colour.
The last one looks a touch darker.
The last one does look a touch darker, yeah. Maybe a touch, but not enough to probably separate them. Actually, between... Yeah, I don't know if it's just my glass or not.
This
No.
one seems lighter. I don't know, it's just...
That's the first one, is it?
No.
Yeah, just a touch lighter, but again, probably not... They're all going to be ruby.
Yeah.
And they're all going to be medium plus ruby. So they're not big, rich Cabernets or anything like that. So we can take pretty much Cabernet off the table. But let's have a look at the next one. So I'm not 100% certain which one this is again. I'll find out in just a minute. See, when I pour these ones, I don't have to hide the bottles from Pat, which means that I sometimes forget which one's which. Oh, yum. Okay, yeah, I know what that one is. But yeah.
Got some red fruits.
Yeah. Red fruits and something.
Black fruit.
So,
there's like a little bit of like black currant or something.
there's... When I say, you'll actually know it straight away. So let's just go through it. So you've done the colour, which is great. What about the intensity of fruits? So, what about the nose? So, clean, yes.
Yeah.
There's not a huge amount of nose to it, so...
Let's go medium plus.
Oh, medium, you reckon is that higher intensity? I'm really... Yeah, but you're sticking your nose right into it too.
Oh, yeah, true, yeah.
So, medium minus nose, because you are really having to get stuck right in there. I mean, and that's after a swirl too, so swirl it up. Yeah, definitely medium minus for me. And that could be just because the wine might be a bit austere, but it's still, you just have to acknowledge what's in the glass in front of you. The ending result is, whatever's in the glass is what you write. I've actually done the exam where at the end of my half hour, I went back and grabbed one of the wines, stuck my nose in it, went, oh my god, I'm so wrong, because when they poured them, like they did decant them,
Yeah.
but when they poured them, it just seemed to be too tight, and I couldn't get anything, so I just wrote medium minus. Then stuck my nose, like literally went, oh, I'm going to review it, and we came back and went, oh my god, oh well that's it. I had to change everything to medium plus, because it was really full on. Rightio. So, yeah, nose-wise, just red fruits. I'd go with that.
Yeah.
I still get like a licorice-y.
Yeah, I get a candied note into it, like a candy. I'm getting. So obviously you're saying it's some sort of like not a star anise as such because that's quite pungent, but it's very subtle. Like what's that sweet licorice?
Oh, coloured ones or...
No. Well, coloured ones or just the sweet licorice you get. Those kind of things. It's just getting that hint of that on there. So, sweetness, dry, yes, you got that. Acidity wise?
Yeah, man.
Oh, yum.
Yeah. My mouth's watered quite a bit.
Yep.
So what's that, high?
Yeah.
Tannin. Seems like it has a fair bit of tannin.
Very balanced well, it's not rippy, so...
Is it... I don't think there's tannin, but I don't think it's big and huge and grippy. Do I think it's high? Well, the best way to try it is when you taste wine, run it over the top part of your teeth here, and what sits above the front part of your teeth will actually indicate tannin.
I get it on the back of the tongue as well.
I think you find it's more the flavours. I don't get a huge amount of tannin. I do get medium tannins, but they're soft. They're really soft.
Rounded.
So you could go medium plus quite happily because the colour is quite intense, but I'd go medium tannin myself. Right, so alcohol wise, what do you reckon alcohol?
It's definitely higher than the last one.
Yeah, yes. So
probably go
medium plus.
13.5.
So medium plus. Okay, so it's not even warming up. Body wise, this is interesting. So you look at it and you actually get some tears coming off the glass quite a bit, don't you? We should suggest a higher alcohol. And a higher alcohol usually promotes a higher body. I would probably say it's a medium-bodied wine. I wouldn't say it's much more.
Medium plus?
Maybe. Yeah, if you wanted to, you could. But it's easier to go choose high or medium for this particular one, but I'd go medium plus, whatever you want to do. I wouldn't break the bank for it.
No.
So fruit intensity.
Huge. Medium plus.
Yeah, definitely at least medium plus. Yeah. Now I'm not saying this is a big complex one by any stretch of the imagination. I find actually there's only really a couple of flavours I'm getting, but it is certainly fruit intensity wise, well, fruit flavour wise.
Flavors.
Yeah, what are the flavours?
Pretty much just red fruits and a little bit of candy.
Yeah, red fruits, but there's a big whack of ester candies. Like there's a massive amount of candy notes in there.
Like kind of like a caramel apple.
Yeah, like a boiled lolly. Almost.
Yeah.
You get that boiled lolly thing, which is an indicator of what in the fermentation.
You said it the other day.
No, it's a particular type of fermentation that is particularly known for this particular wine.
You said it the other day, and then some winemakers deny it apparently.
Yep, they do. Carbonic maceration.
Carbonic maceration.
You get these really candy esters running into your wine. Generally that means that they've picked it, they've put it in an anaerobic environment, the fermentation begins inside the berry, and this creates a whole range of these really sweet candy fruit esters. So when you do actually press it and then, ferment it, that's actually a really strong indicator. And
they don't press them, so they just let them sit and start to...
Well, because what they do is they leave them inside this for about 18 to 20 hours, and then they take these bags, and they're literally black plastic bags in some cases. They might be sealed containers, 2-ton bins that they just seal the top of. But there's no air in there, and then they take it and they dump it into the vat, and then they let it press down naturally, so the juice sits at the bottom and the skins and stuff, and they draw the tannins, etc., like they normally do. But because those really high estery notes, you get this real, its carbonic maceration is really, really obvious.
So do they introduce a yeast
to
it? Or
yeah, they usually introduce a yeast to it. There is natural yeast inside it which starts the fermentation, but will be overridden by the Saccharomyces yeast, the cultured yeast they add to it. So there is one wine in the world which they make specifically that way. Do we know what it could be?
Just trying to remember what you said with you. Old mate brought in the wines the other day.
So A, is it New World or Old World?
New World.
Mm-hmm.
It's an Australian thing, isn't it?
No, well, actually, the black plastic bag was developed by an Australian, but it was used in the Old World.
Is it a Shiraz? No, like...
So, this is actually an Old World wine. The fruitiness and the esters still say that it is going to be like New World sort of style. Remember the whole point of Old World wines, they're trying to get fruit into it. This is one where they've got fruit into it, is by using carbonic maceration. They get it in there by that. So let's have a look at your acidity. What's your acidity?
High.
Would that suggest to you that it would be a New World wine or an Old World wine? New World wines are hot, so therefore lower acidity.
Yeah.
Old World wines are cool and therefore going to have a higher acidity. And as it's got a very high acidity, that would suggest it's an Old World wine. You see where I'm going with this?
But
they've used a carbonic maceration though to give the fruit weight that we see in New World wines. Now there's one wine in the Old World. So where in the Old World? Give us the name of the countries. France, Italy, Spain, Germany, Austria. Okay, so let's just leave it at that for the moment, without Sicily or anywhere else like or Greece. Because I'm not putting a Greek wine onto you yet, we will later. But which country do you reckon does carbonic maceration?
Spain.
Good call, but no. Spain wouldn't have quite that higher acidity.
Okay, so France.
France, yeah, France is a good call. Where in France is a carbonically macerated red wine made?
Are they allowed to do it?
Yep, absolutely. This is actually stylistically exactly what they do.
Oh, okay.
So, wouldn't be Burgundy.
Yeah. It's the bottom end of Burgundy. The very bottom end of Burgundy, it's a place called Beaujolais.
Beaujolais.
Hey, this is great.
Yep.
Very good.
So therefore, this is a. Do we know the grape from Beaujolais? Red grape Beaujolais, exclusively grows this grape essentially.
Exclusively grows where?
In Beaujolais.
In Beaujolais.
So Beaujolais has essentially one red grape. What is it?
Syrah.
Pardon?
Syrah.
Nope. No, that's Rhone.
That's right.
Gamay.
Oh yeah.
So
course.
Gamay, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but Gamay is grown almost exclusively grown in Beaujolais, and is carbonically macerated. So if you get an old world wine, which you can tell from the old world, high acidity, it also hasn't got a fleshy palate to it at all. This is going to be a Beaujolais. Carbonic maceration, old world wine will be a Beaujolais every day. So the grape varietal from Beaujolais is Gamay, Gamay.
I haven't had much to do with it.
We've only had a couple, like you and I together have only had a couple.
Yeah.
I did drink some, when I was over there, I went to the Villemont, which is the windmill, and they were the most wonderful people. We sat down, they also do, there's different levels of Beaujolais. In Europe, you'll have heard of a thing called Beaujolais Nouveau, which is essentially Beaujolais they've picked, carbonically macerated, pressed, fermented quickly, bottled and put out. So it's a very, very young, bright, sweet wine. It's actually fairly low alcohol.
Lush, so.
Yeah, and it's really lush. The next step above that, above the Nouveau range, it's called the Village. And the village, it comes from villages. And there's, I think there's 6 major villages: Cherubes, Fleuret, Villemont, I can't remember the other 3 off the top of my head, but they're 6 villages essentially. And then you have Beaujolais Cru. Now Beaujolais Cru is the complete opposite of everything else that they do in Beaujolais. So no carbonic maceration. These wines are made to age. They're really powerful and rich. So this is definitely not Beaujolais Cru, but it is definitely Beaujolais because it's got the carbonic maceration to it. It's a village level wine, and you need to drink a lot of it to try and figure out which village it's from. But this is Cherubes, Chirioub.
So in one region they do different style.
No, it's all pretty much. Once you know the 6 villages, there are different hints of what it is. But essentially, yeah, I wouldn't expect you to get down to Village unless you went to France, lived there for a couple of months and drinking the wines.
Went around and tasted them all.
Yeah. But essentially, yeah, once you hit Beaujolais, for the carbonic maceration, high acidity, Gamay grape varietal, bang, that's Beaujolais.
Just making a note, move to Paris, become a wino.
Don't become a wino in Paris, you'll just drink crap. You want to go start living in places like Boussy, or Boozy if you want to go to
That's just
so,
France.
Yeah, so
France, become a wino.
Yeah, become a wino. Go stay with Glenn, actually. Hey, Glenn. But yeah, that is Beaujolais. Now, that is a really good expression of Beaujolais. It's only about $25, but it is a really good expression of Beaujolais. So yeah, that one I was quite impressed with. Rightio, so next. Note the nose is completely different on this one.
Yeah, I know, but
you still get some really bright red fruits.
Yeah,
but you're not
bright
getting,
red fruits, but
not getting any candy notes though.
It feels like there's a sweet, sweet red fruit. I'm trying to think what it is. It's like
raspberry.
Maybe strawberry.
No, strawberry's a little bit lighter and a bit brighter. Oh, maybe. I could be wrong. Could be just your palate picking through that. I would go like raspberry, like traditional raspberry, not this red skin type raspberry. Oh yum! Oh gosh, I keep forgetting how good some of these wines are. These wines were selected by me today because I want to show, as I said, for traditionally good, obvious of their style. And I went, oh, that's so nice. So, Dan, are you picking up anything from that one?
The fruit seems a lot more. It's a lot less. It's a lot more dull than what the
other one is.
had.
Yeah.
That's so rich.
Wow.
Getting a bit of alcohol on that as well.
Yep.
Seems to be higher.
So, how you doing? You've worked your way down. Red fruit, raspberry.
Alcohol.
Yep.
Mid plus.
Oh, acidity.
Acidity. That's alcohol. Oh, that, yeah, that's.
CIA is the aromas.
Yep.
SA, so you've got dry, which is fine. Acidity, medium plus. I think that's fine. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, originally. Yeah.
If you've got any
Acidity and that was more, I think. That's
yeah, absolutely. But medium plus acidity, quite happy with that.
Tannin. Just trying to work that out.
Tannins actually is the interesting one for this one. Got some nice tannin to it, like it's rounded tannins, but it's not drying or searing. It is quite high in the tannin though. So I would say
it's got a chalkiness to
it's
it.
going to there is a slight chalkiness to it, which makes it really quite eminently drinkable for me because the fruit component is a little bit duller than I was expecting. But then the tannin sort of balances it off really nicely with the chalkiness. So, alcohol-wise, we did sort of say it had a fairly good bit of alcohol.
So medium plus.
Medium plus is a good safe bet for that one. Body-wise,
Go medium plus.
yeah, I'd probably go medium plus only because the alcohol is medium plus. I think the alcohol is giving that a lift to that wine.
Yeah.
So next up, flavour intensity.
Oh, flavour intensities. Yeah. I go pretty high, like medium plus. So.
Yeah, no, medium plus is fine. Yeah, go for it. Flavours now though, and the thing is, on the palate, it is remarkably different from the nose. So you get simple red fruits on the nose, but on the palate, a little bit duller on the fruits. So
It's got a little leatheriness.
it's got it does. It has some bit of leatheriness.
I don't get cedar though.
Not
No,
licking the belts.
It does. There's no bright oak. If it's anything, it's textural enough to say I'd say it's in old oak. But yeah, so note those down. So just right in there.
It's not earthiness, but it's definitely like.
I don't know. It's got some foresty notes to it, but
That's
yeah.
why I think the leatheriness is.
Yeah, well, leatheriness, yeah. So there are definitely some tertiary notes in there. Just going to check the next one. Oh, jeez. Yeah, okay. So I'm actually surprised you haven't just jumped onto this one straight away, Dan.
This one?
Yeah.
The finish stops pretty quick, like the flavours.
Yep, they do. And it's a simple finish too.
Yeah, simple, short finish.
Yep. The wine itself is lovely, not complex by any stretch of the imagination. Not, I'd say it's a good wine. I wouldn't say anything more than a good wine, but it is solid expression of the varietal that it is.
It's the lack of fruit that's getting me a bit.
Yeah, you the fruit is a little bit dulled in there, but I know that you've drunk this one.
The acidity is medium plus, so that would make it probably New World.
Medium plus for New World?
I thought that was what.
Well, generally, it can be. So does is it fruit forward?
Not overly.
No. Well, is it a fleshy palate?
No.
Well, that destroys New World then.
Okay.
No fruit forward, no fleshy palate. So therefore, that's an old world. But due to the acidity being only medium plus, would suggest a warmer climate.
So it's probably
In the
Spain or.
Well, you're looking at Spain,
Portugal.
Italy, Sicily, the Grecian islands. Well, it's not the Grecian islands because I'm not going to play with that one just yet. But so in that Italy, Sicily, Spain, and Portugal, it's your areas.
Thinking of Monty, but I remember Monty Pajano having a lot more fruit to it.
Yeah, exactly. I do get with the chalky tannins and the flavour profile. There's a bit of volcanic rock sort of, and this sounds a bit wanky, and I'm really sorry, but there is a minerality or a hardness in the palate weight that suggests to me volcanic rocks. And yeah, it's just naturally what it is.
So that suggests Italy.
It would suggest Italy or Sicily. No,
Got me.
got you.
Unless it's, what did we have last week? Like
Is it a
Barolo is north of Italy.
yeah, also Nebbiolo.
Nebbiolo is still north of Italy. Negro Amaro.
Negro Amaro, and then
Primitivo.
Primitivo south. That's near the heel.
I
Yep.
know what it is.
You do know what it is
Yeah,
now?
I know what it is.
Okay, rightio.
Oh, is it the Primitivo?
No.
No.
What do you got?
It's the Nero or
Oh, near
Nero Diavola from Sicily.
Mhm.
This is the biodynamic Nero Diavola from Stamari. I actually really like this wine. This is a great food wine where you're not going to have ridiculously complex flavours overriding a whole bunch of lovely flavours you're getting from good food. Generally, this goes really well with simpler foods for me, but I just think it's just a lovely wine. So you look at it, it is medium body, it's not full body by any stretch of the imagination. Those red fruits, and can you get like a hardness in there of like a volcanic rock? That's what I get. It is a kind of thing that I pick up. I mean, but I thought it
I'll have
was.
to go out and suck on a few rocks, I guess.
Hey, look! Don't laugh. One of my exams, I actually wrote down that it tasted like licking a quartz driveway. And when I actually had to pay to get my exam back, because you have to pay to get your exam assessment back.
What?
Yeah, they just mark it, but if you want your exam assessment back to you, you've got to pay money for it.
That sounds like a raw.
Oh, it does sound like a bit of a raw. But I wanted to see, because it was one of my first exams, I'm like, oh geez, I don't know.
They want to see their
I
comments.
wanted to see what the comments were. The licking the quartz driveway actually got a big tick. and literally because I think someone's gone, yep, that's exactly what it's like.
Come off your push bike as a kid.
Yeah.
Remember that taste?
Licking that, remember that? Yeah. So yeah, so that's Stamari's Nero D'Avola. It's always good to look at these kind of wines because these are the tricking wines they will throw at you. Nero D'Avola is actually a particularly... It's actually making its way in the marketplace now, and a lot of the trends that turn up in the world of wine will be examined on. Usually the year or two after they've actually hit. So Nero D'Avola's made a big resurgence, particularly.
We've only got one.
We've only got two.
Or two.
Yeah, we've got two. But I remember when Dan Gentle showed this to me, I went, holy crap, that's so nice. And I actually went out searching for more Nero D'Avolas. And I found some that were, and some that were, oh. But really, I thought this was probably the best expression of Nero D'Avola. Just straight down the line, everything was exactly what I thought it would be, tasted how I thought it would. So, yeah, I think it's a good little expression of this one. The last one, though, is going to be quite a different wine.
Yeah.
So,
On the nose.
on the nose, yeah.
I don't know, like, we kind of automatically wrote clean, but then,
You're allowed to change that, mind.
yeah, because I don't think it is. Like,
You don't think it's clean?
I don't know what the scale for that
Too
is.
funky.
Yeah, it's like a musky,
Oh,
like,
good luck.
It's got the nose of a wine that's gone too far. As far as
yeah.
for me, anyway.
Intensity is high though.
If it's bad.
Yeah, but it's still intense.
I hope it doesn't taste like it smells.
Mm.
It smells almost porky shit. Cooked. Well, cooked.
Yeah, Roma, I get like old, like wet leather or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Literally just right what you're getting in front of you.
Since
I get-
came out today.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I forgot what that thing looked like.
Yeah.
There's golden orbs, and I actually fell to my knees and started worshipping it. Oh, speaking of which, sorry, did you see one of the things that turned up on my feed today? was a boat was going through the Suez Canal and stuffed up and hit the side of the Suez Canal.
And blocked the canal.
And then ground its way to this way. No one can get past it. They've got tugs pushing it. They can't get it out.
They've jammed it in there.
They've jammed it in there.
Yeah, it reminded me of that scene from Austin Powers where
So, and that's a major trade port. That's a massive thing. So there are a lot of people really
It's
pissed
going
right
to
now.
get a bigger boat.
They get a bit, yeah.
Well, it sounds like that sea captain's been doing some drinking training. as
Oh
well.
yeah. And the other one that I got was the Catholic priest who had a threesome on the altar of the church.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I saw that too, but
I thought you were starting a joke.
No. I was actually really happy about that. At least it was
At least they were above age.
At least they were above age. That was so nice.
It was consensual.
And consensual, or paid even. I don't know. They kind of look paid, didn't they?
I just wrote brown because it tastes like I imagine the colour brown would taste like.
Tastes brown. Try something other than brown. Brown will never get you elected.
It's just
So go just rather than the wet leather
chips or
is
something.
No, I've got actually some.
This just smells though.
I got blue fruits. I do get leather. I do get some socks in there as well, but mainly blue fruits.
Yeah, I'd go maybe wet socks.
Yep.
Okay, it doesn't taste as bad as it smells.
Mm-hmm. It's actually quite nice.
The tzatziki dip gives a bit of a zing.
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah, try it again. What is tzatziki?
Cucumber.
I think I've made. Oh, is it garlic, cucumber, and something and yogurt?
Yogurt, yeah. Yeah.
I do a rater with curries, which is cucumber, lemon juice, and yogurt, which is really lovely.
I was running late. I would have mashed up the fresh avocado I had at home too. Didn't have it.
Right here. Acidity?
Yeah, the tzatziki changes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So acidity for this wine?
It's not overly acidic.
No, I wouldn't say high.
It's
I'd say medium at best. Tannin structure. Now the tannins. This is interesting. You're looking at the colour.
Yeah, you think it's
You
going to
expect it's going to have some good tannin to it or some rich tannin to it.
I don't get much.
I get very little.
I'll go
So medium minus.
Yeah.
You could happily.
It is there.
It is there because the colour's there. But you can't really deny that. Alcohol wise, is it warming? No.
No.
I'd say 12.5. So
Yeah.
medium. Body wise,
Tzatziki's just kind of good writing it now.
yeah, you might need to just eat that.
Dry Vicky.
And I'm not kidding. That works wonderfully. If you're ever doing wine judging, and someone's put something out silly like tzatziki for us, eat a cracker. It dries your mouth straight out, cleans everything up. If you have water, have a glass of water as well. But it will literally just dry everything on your palate, and therefore you'll be able to taste things fresher again. Right out.
I stand by my tzatziki makes it better.
I'm not saying tzatziki doesn't make it better.
I'm just saying I can't taste.
I can't taste anything other than tzatziki. So body wise?
It's good right now.
Again, medium minus body.
Quite light.
Yeah, quite light.
I mean, it's all liquid, but
Flavour
Flavour intensity. This is where it actually gets completely turned around. You get a medium plus intensity of flavour from the palate.
Yeah, medium plus.
Yeah. Medium plus, or even going to high in some cases, but medium plus. Yeah, medium plus is good. Flavour intensity itself. This is where I'm getting my blue fruits. I'm getting quite, but simple blue fruits. Nothing really complex. The wet leather that we're getting on the nose.
Yeah.
Are you getting it on the palate?
maybe a little bit right at the back. But
You're getting nowhere near that though. You
No,
do get
not
some of
the
it.
smell.
No.
Like,
Not as an intense smell.
But it has got an earthiness.
It's got an
Yeah.
earthiness to it though. So flavour intensity, blue fruits. I'd actually put leather in there as well. Don't be afraid to put. I mean, if you smelt it, you're going to be putting it in the palate generally. But the finish though, fairly short but simple. I don't see
Yeah.
short and simple.
Yeah, no.
Short, simple blue fruits.
It finishes with the tannin.
It does
Yeah,
actually.
maybe
Yeah,
on that
the
as well.
tannin actually turns up in the back palate. But again, it's not
No,
no. So this is a bit of a hard one if you've never had this kind of wine before.
Have I had it before?
I don't know. Maybe not.
It sort of reminds me of one we had a couple of weeks ago that both Pat and I went, ugh, but flavour was good.
Was that what a Dane Gentle song was?
I can't remember. I think that was a Beaujolais.
No, it wouldn't be
Not
Beaujolais.
Beaujolais. So that other place. Damn it.
Bordeaux? Burgundy? Bordeaux.
Bordeaux.
Yeah, no, don't think so. Bordeaux will be Cabernet or Merlot or Cab Franc.
Yeah, it's not that.
Definitely not those.
Not that big.
Cab Franc's obviously with red fruits.
It's Old World.
It's definitely old
Yeah.
world. Definitely old world. And this is the good part. Is once you can identify old world,
It's like a.
it takes half the grapes straight down.
It's got like kind of like.
Can't be Syrah.
So hold on, before we do, break it down. You've got your notes here.
Yeah.
Use your notes because this is where you're going to have to get your answers from. Your answers will be literally, this wine is blah because of blah 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 blah, and referring to your notes.
It's kind of got that Pinot kind of thing with the earthiness and
Yep.
all the forest floor and.
So acidity wise though, for old world it's medium.
Yeah.
So where would that be? Would that be in France, which is quite a cool climate, or would it be Italy?
Well, Italy was medium plus before, so.
Medium plus before, but
So,
Italy, Sicily, Spain, and Portugal.
so you have like the top end of Italy, top end of Spain,
Yep.
bottom end of France.
Yep. So, but you said it's medium. It was medium plus before.
Yeah, and that was in Sicily.
That was
so
in Sicily.
going down to medium would
We'll
drive it north,
south.
south. Oh yeah, yeah.
You're getting closer to the
Yeah.
equator.
Yeah.
Warmer climate.
Okay. Wait,
So what's
Something
south?
like that punchy fruit that I thought a warmer climate would.
yeah.
Not necessarily. Yes, yeah, that could be. You're quite right. You would normally see more punchy fruit, but remember this is old world fruit, so you're not going to get punchy new world fruit, so vibrant and light. So Sicily. So knowing that the boot of Italy is here, Sicily sits here, Spain sits here, Portugal sits here. South of Sicily, probably the safest. What's the bottom? You got the bottom end of there. You got Campania, Umbria. Actually, no, south of Umbria. So you got Campania, Puglia. Damn it, I can't remember the other across from that Matera region. I can't remember what it's called. And then you go all the way across to the southern end of Spain, south of Barcelona. So you'd be like Penedès, going down to Jerez. Maybe the Douro Valley, but again the Douro is quite hot, so maybe it could be that area. So you've basically got Portugal, the Douro Valley, Jerez, which is Spain, which is almost exclusively sherry, so you're generally not going to be that. You've got the southern parts of Italy, which is Campania, Puglia. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much the areas. So what are those grape varietals found in those areas? Tinta Barocca, Tinta Riores,
What was that one we had the other day?
Tinta Cow, Tinta Barocca.
Tinta Barocca.
But is it Tinta Barocca? Like, you
No.
try it? No, it's not.
What was the other one I had? We're talking about when we're talking about the varietals that used in port.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. There's Tinta Riores, which is Tempranillo, Tinta Barocca, Tinta Cow, Tinta Franca.
I like the Tinta Cow one.
Tinta Cow. Moo.
Let's go and do some cow tinta.
It's a CAO, but anyway, whatever. Actually, no. I'll get rid of the Iberian Peninsula, which is Spain and Portugal. I'll tell you that. I'll give you a mulligan for that one. So get rid of that side of it. So that leaves only
Italy. Well,
Italy, south of Italy. What's the southern part of Italy known for? Primitivo.
Yeah, I thought that, but I don't remember the Primitivo having that musky.
Yep. If it's got age to it, it will get that.
Like, what kind of age? Is that like 5 years or?
I think 5 or 6 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Primitivo is generally drunk fairly young, By the time it gets to Australia, though, it's had usually got 3 or 4 years on it.
Because the Kangaroo Road that I drink is quite light fruit, like.
Yep.
But it's a New World made wine, so it's using Old World grapes. Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually had a proper Primitivo from. Oh, actually no.
Do you want to grab the box and we'll pull them out? So just on the back of the
Because there was that one that American Steve gave me, and actually it is a bit similar to that.
Yeah.
But without the wet socks and leather.
Yep. So.
Is this what Pat was looking for before?
This was, yeah. So.
What's in there? Huh.
Man, John does.
So this he did. So this is Primitivo, from Salento. It's an IGT.
It's a nice bottle.
It's a lovely bottle. Beaujolais, Gewürztraminer from Gravestone in New Zealand, and Stamati. So these are the wines in order. That is a hard lineup to deal with on a mixed bag. If you could get that, this one was the gimme, because that is delightfully beautiful. I love
I wouldn't
it.
have picked it, but because I haven't had.
I've never
had a straight Gewürz.
Honestly, I would love to drive more Gewürztraminer in the store, but we just don't have the client base to follow up on us.
But I feel like we have the client base that actually listen to a recommendation. So
yeah, we do. Our client base is fantastic.
Now that I know what I'm selling is
Shame it's more expensive, but because that would be a great entry level for someone who wants to start with white wine.
Especially if you were going to go from Moscato.
Yeah.
That was a perfect entry level into some heavier wines. The Beaujolais Village, this is George Dubouf, Beaujolais Village, which I believe is it's an AOP. Generally, it's Cheroops is where he's from.
What's AOP?
Appellation protege. They've changed the AOC to an AOP these days. All right.
Is that because of
I don't really honestly know. They changed the name quite regularly. This is a DOC Biologico from Stamati, which is a biodynamic wine, which is really lovely. Like I think this is a great little wine. Mezzacorono is actually the winemaker for that. And finally, so Primitivo, 2018.
Really?
Yeah. I would have thought 4 or 5 years in that.
Yeah.
But
dark coming out.
it is dark coming out. I love the bottle though. The bottle looks
Yeah.
great. But also the fact is this is the nose belies the actual wine. The wine itself is beautiful. The nose does give you that funky hit, which I was surprised about because I've had this one just
Could
recently.
that possibly be a faulty cork or?
I don't know. I was offered this wine.
Because for 2018, it shouldn't be that funky.
No, but for
That's how it was made.
that's how it's not. Well, what I think actually happened is I got offered this wine 8 months ago, and I tried it, and I went, no, I don't like that. The funkiness is there, and then 3 weeks ago I got brought the wine again, and I tried it, and I went,
Same one.
yeah, it's the same wine,
Same year, I mean.
but it's Michael's. So I tried it and went, wow, that's lovely, that's clean, that's fresh, it's vibrant, that's really, really good. Then we bought a case of it and put it on the shelf, and I was like, it's got that slightly, that leathery notes that come in, which is really surprising. But, that being said though, you are looking at old world wine. It's important to understand that
Maybe it just needs a few more years back on the shelf.
possibly, but I don't want to keep it that long.
2 years.
That being said,
tastes like my couch.
That being said, the wine, the actual flavour of the wine is fantastic, and it is a really good wine.
I still
But the
think
big part of Primitivo, and this is what you should keep in your head, Primitivo is like a tadpole. All up front, very short tail.
Yeah.
All up front, so all your fruit flavours, and Primitivo is renowned to be massive fruit up front, very short finish. So if you have big fruit with a really short finish, it's either going to be Primitivo or it's going to be Central Otago Pinot.
And that didn't have the big fruit.
Well,
on the
taste it. When you taste it, though.
I've got to stop smelling
Smelling
it.
it.
Stop Rex at the start with.
Yeah. But when you taste it, just go straight in. big fruit, and then nothing. That is literally what Primitivo is.
I still think my pick was the Nero Diablo.
Oh, I love the New Diablo.
Yeah.
Oh, look, honestly, my pick of today's wines, and remember, this is not meant to be oh my god, this is the best wine, is probably the Gewurz. I just keep forgetting how good Gewurz is.
It was, I loved that lychee on the nose. I just did not see it coming. Stuck my nose in
and that's, if you're doing a dinner party, and you go, oh, well, here's your Riesling to open up with, and then you go on to your, aperitif sort of thing, and then you go, oh, here's your curry. Most people put a Pinot Gris with the curry because I suggest Pinot Gris. It's a good wine to go with it. Gewurz though, oh wow, you get people
And
go,
something
oh.
odd, and something to talk about.
Yeah, and lychee though. But lychee, have you ever had a curry with lychees in it?
No.
I have.
But I had lots of curries with like raisins or sultana.
Yeah, we go for those sweetness things. Yeah. That I actually had a duck curry with lychee. A red duck curry with lychee, an Indonesian base. Oh wow, it was just amazing. And all I was doing was sitting there drinking my wine, and I was drinking a Chardonnay because that's what I like. And I'm thinking, oh, I wish this was Gewurz. And they didn't have a Gewurz on the list, and I was gutted.
So you popped down and grabbed a cask.
Well, yes, a cask of that would have been horrific. Anyway, Pat, did you actually get what we're looking at now? So Gewurz is lychee. You know that is going to be lychee.
Yeah, I know the Primitivo now.
You know that carbonic maceration, that's what it tastes like.
Yeah, the candy.
Candy notes. When you start looking at Sicilian wines, you are going to see...
I think I just accidentally added the wasabi cheese.
Yeah, that's volcanic rock. And Primitivo is fruit up front, small tail at the back. It's essentially, if you get any of these wines in an exam, for the mixed bag exam particularly, you are going to be going... You need to break it down. Is it New World or Old World? If it's New World, it's obviously fruit forward, fleshy palate. If it's Old World, it can have fruit forward but not a fleshy palate, or it can be
High acidity.
Yeah, or high acidity is a very good indicator as well.
Lower alcohol.
Once you figure out if it's New World and Old World, you look at the acidity and you can sort of tell in the spectrums where it is. High acidity is in the northern parts of Europe. Low acidity is the mid part, and then almost no acidity is coming into that Mediterranean climate.
So you kind of got Spain that goes down like that.
Yeah. So literally, when it comes to this, so that's the Iberian Peninsula. That's Spain there. That's going to be your high acidity area.
Yeah. So that's when you go to the Rhone.
Rhone, Burgundy, Beaujolais. Beaujolais is coming down to the lower acidity areas. Then you've really got, and Sicily's there. That's acidic high, medium plus, and medium. Once you actually get to that, you'll actually figure out. See, notice where I've written that for is south of Barcelona by a long way.
Yeah.
And essentially all you've got there is Jerez. You do get the Douro Valley here, which is the Douro River, which is Portugal. That is really, really hot.
Yeah.
Okay, from the winds that come through here. But otherwise, essentially that's the simplest diagram I can give you to figure out where acidity is. Anyway, well, we're going to continue to drink these wines and hack apart the cheese.
I was trying to swap the wasabi for the cheddar so Pat couldn't get near it.
But
I said something, but it wasn't that hot.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you for tuning in today, and if you enjoy the wines, come down and see us. All of us, like Pat, the bar manager, myself, Dan, we all are, quite knowledgeable on the wines, as we've hopefully shown today.
We won't sell you a bad one.
We won't. Yeah, we definitely won't sell you a bad one. We drink all the wines in store.
Unless you force us to sell you a bad one.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry, we do have McGuigan's. Anyway, that aside, thank you all for turning up today.
We don't have McGuigan's.
Cheers. Drink well, drink like a savvy. Cheers.
Cheers.